I have kept quiet long enough. But what they did to Luka, that was personal.
The GOAT is about to spill the wildest secret behind the Luka Doncic trade, and trust me, nothing you've heard so far even comes close. This isn't just another rumor. This is the untold truth behind the Luka and Davis swap that flipped the entire league on its head. What I'm about to break down will change how you see this whole deal forever. Wait till you hear how Diddy and LeBron are both tangled up in this madness. It's wild how fast the NBA can twist overnight. 1 second, Luka Doncic is out here torching defenders in Dallas, dropping 40 like it's practice and grinning like a king. The next second, he's reportedly packing his bags for Los Angeles. You'd think the Mavericks would rather shut down the league than move their franchise player. But nah, this is the NBA, where loyalty sounds sweet until the money starts talking. When the news broke that Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis plus 2 draft picks, the league didn't just react, it exploded. Every timeline turned into chaos. Shams Charania dropped the bomb first, and in minutes, ESPN, Bleacher Report, and every basketball podcast alive were losing it. It was like watching digital fireworks go off nonstop. The internet screamed that Dallas had lost its mind, claiming this was classic Lakers behavior. Big market, big names, big snatch. And yeah, it felt unreal. But it also didn't just come out of nowhere. If you'd been watching close, the tension had been brewing for months. Leaks were floating around the front office about Luka's growing control, whispers about how he was calling more shots than the coach. Jason Kidd's rotations had players confused, and Luka's post-game interviews? Man looked tired of pretending everything was fine. The Kyrie Irving extension was supposed to be the solution, but the chemistry? Offbeat from day one. Dallas didn't look broken on the court. It looked worn down by everything happening behind closed doors. But trading Luka?
As defenders, is it important that you now have a defensive player of the year candidate in Luka? He seems to think that he's telling us that he wants some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
For
just
sure.
wanted to check.
That was pure desperation, a move so shocking it shook the league's foundation. Because let's be real, Luka wasn't just their best player, he was Dallas. He carried that city, that team, and every ounce of belief the Mavericks had left. He wasn't just putting up numbers, he was rewriting highlight reels nightly. Every playoff push, every buzzer beater, every time the roster looked mid at best, Luka made them matter again. His teammates said it best. Derek Lively once said Luka made everybody better just by the attention he drew. And Derek Jones Jr. went even deeper, saying Luka's mind for reading defenses made you want to raise your game. Back then, no one realized how heavy those words would hit later. Now, those same clips feel like heartbreak, the kind of reminders that show just how massive a hole Luka left behind in Dallas. The thing is, this wasn't some impulsive move at all. Insiders close to the Lakers front office claim this deal had been cooking for months behind the scenes. Quiet calls were made, luxury tax numbers were crunched, and there was this shared sense of urgency hanging in the air like storm clouds ready to burst. The Lakers were staring straight into the unknown, life after LeBron, and it didn't look pretty. Anthony Davis, as talented as he is, wasn't exactly proving he could carry that legendary franchise solo. His health? Shaky. His consistency? Slipping. And every time he sat out, the Lakers looked completely lost, like a team searching for a heartbeat. So what did they do? Exactly what the Lakers always do. They went hunting for their next megastar. Meanwhile, over in Dallas, emotions were all over the place. Heartbreak mixed with a strange kind of relief. Fans were torn apart because Luka wasn't just a player. He was the guy, the one who made Dallas shine again. But deep down, even some diehards admitted the team had been running in circles. Same great regular seasons, same frustrating playoff exits. Maybe, just maybe, a trade was the only real reset left. To be fair, Anthony Davis does bring championship experience, elite defense, and that big market aura that front offices drool over. Pair that with Lively, Grant Williams, and some new rotation depth from those extra Lakers picks. And the Mavs tried to spin it like this wasn't a rebuild. It's a transition, one insider reportedly said. Yeah, a transition that feels like heartbreak with PR polish. You could kinda see the logic, kinda. But let's be real. Luka for AD? That's like trading a PlayStation 6 for a PlayStation 2 that still kind of works if you blow the dust off. It just doesn't sit right. And it raises the real question, what does loyalty even mean in today's NBA? Luka wasn't just loyal, he defined Dallas. He rebranded European dominance and gave that franchise its soul. But here's the cold truth. Loyalty doesn't pay luxury tax, and it sure doesn't balance a cap sheet.
I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level.
This is pure business now, and fans are finally seeing it with clear eyes. Teams don't wait years hoping stars figure it out anymore. If they smell tension, they move. If the math stops adding up, they move. No emotions, just numbers, contracts, and cold strategy running the show. This Luka trade made one thing painfully clear. Nobody is safe anymore. The Mavericks didn't trade their superstar because he failed them. They did it because the system told them it made sense. The numbers lined up, the timing clicked, and both sides wanted change. But wow, the irony. Luka craved control, Dallas wanted order, and somehow they both got what they wished for, just not in the way either imagined. Now, the NBA's got itself a brand new poster boy for the modern superstar era. And what makes it so wild is how Luka handled it. No cryptic tweets, no meltdowns, no storming out of pressers, just quiet exits and straight business. Meanwhile, Dallas is trying to figure out how to breathe without him. The first few games showed a new vibe. More ball movement, smoother passing, fewer one-man shows hogging the spotlight. Lively looks more confident than ever. Kyrie's stepping up as a true leader, and even Jason Kidd seems looser with his rotations. But you can still feel it. Something's missing, like a spark that used to light up the whole arena. And if this blockbuster proved anything, it's that no one in today's league is untouchable. Not even the player who made an entire city believe again.
Oziroma, bom rekel, kar strani nekaterih posameznikov, mogoče hinavščina celo, da to pa me osebno boli, ker mislim, da se Luka absolutno tega ni zaslužil.
Just when everyone thought the chaos had peaked, the real madness began. Because if the trade itself was shocking, what came right after was a full-on PR nightmare. Nico Harrison, the Mavericks GM, had to step into the fire. And man, he looked completely blindsided. He walked into that press conference like it was business as usual, but he clearly didn't grasp how deep the fans' love for Luka ran. He talked about long-term strategy, balance, and roster depth, but nobody in that room wanted to hear any of it. What they heard was a man trying to justify letting go of their heartbeat. And when he admitted he hadn't fully understood the emotional weight Luka carried for the city, it hit like a slap. That line exposed everything. These execs didn't realize what they destroyed until it was too late. Wasn't it obvious, though? Luka was Dallas. From the murals downtown to the sold-out nights at the AAC, from his jaw-dropping rookie debut to every clutch buzzer beater that had the crowd screaming his name, Luka wasn't just a player, he was the pulse of the city, and losing him didn't just change the roster, it changed the entire soul of Dallas. He wasn't just the face of the Mavericks, he was the heartbeat pulsing through the whole franchise. So when the man in charge stood there saying he didn't realize how deep that connection went, fans completely lost it. Nico Harrison tried to stay calm, all business and logic, but it came off cold and detached. That's where Dallas tripped up big time. They underestimated the emotion tied to that trade, and it showed loud and clear. Maybe the deal itself was inevitable, but the rollout? A total disaster. The tone, the lack of empathy, the robotic delivery. It all made a major decision feel like a betrayal. For the fans, this wasn't about cap space or long-term balance. It was about losing the one player who gave them hope.
I was out with my family at dinner and got the news, and first time I heard it, I thought it was for sure fake. I thought it was a hoax. People messing around, whatever.
Luka made every game feel like a reason to believe again, and suddenly, that light was gone. Things got even hotter when Luka's own father jumped into the chaos. He publicly called out the front office for being shady and not handling the trade with transparency. And that blew everything wide open. His words hit hard, and suddenly every sports show, podcast, and TikTok analyst was replaying his comments non-stop. You could see the panic setting in.
That day to travel back, and my phone just starts blowing up left and right, and And then I kind of, looked on social media, and I think I was as shocked and surprised as everybody was.
Dallas was scrambling to contain a story that was already out of control. What the front office forgot, though, is that how you say something matters just as much as what you do. The PR team wanted to sound strategic, but instead, they sounded soulless. Nico's honesty about misjudging Luka's impact might have been genuine.
So it's still a grieving process right now. Miss my hermano. We had a lot of time together. Keith too, and Maxie.
But to fans, it sounded like an accidental confession, proof that the people at the top never really understood what Luka meant to Dallas. As the press conferences got weirder and the PR spin grew thinner, it felt like the whole situation had finally hit a wall. The fans were fuming, the locker room was quiet, and the league itself started to buzz. Because let's be real, trades like this never stay quiet for long. Once the official statement dropped, everybody had something to say. Ex-players, insiders, TikTok commentators, even that one guy online still arguing the Mavs should have kept Pingus instead of Luka. The NBA world was boiling, ready for a full-blown eruption. And then, boom, the explosion hit. LeBron James became the first megastar to react, and the irony couldn't have been more perfect. This is the same guy who once flipped the sports world upside down with The Decision back in 2010.
You know what I want? I want Luka to the Lakers. I want Jokic to the Knicks. I want all the Europeans to go to all the big markets.
Seeing him weigh in on Luka's shocking exit, it was poetic, explosive, and just the start of the storm about to sweep through the entire league. LeBron knows exactly what it feels like when one move flips the entire league on its head. At first, even he thought the Luka trade was a joke. He literally said he had to double-check if it was from a parody account. That's how unbelievable it sounded. Once he confirmed it was real, though, he couldn't help but light up the timeline. He called it one of those once-in-a-generation alignments, saying he'd always dreamed of sharing the court with Luka, and that quote instantly went viral. But of course, LeBron's reaction split the internet in two. Some fans were hyped right along with him, saying it was destiny. Others weren't buying it, calling him slick and saying he was just being political because, come on, nobody knows how to play the media like LeBron.
Everybody be like, I got the white boy. I'm like, it's gonna be hell.
Still, behind all the noise, there was something real in his tone. A spark of genuine excitement that showed he knew this was bigger than just another trade. Meanwhile, back in Dallas, the energy couldn't have been more different. Dirk Nowitzki looked crushed, like someone told him they were tearing down the AAC and replacing it with a Starbucks. The man who built the Mavericks culture from scratch was suddenly watching it crumble in front of him. For a trade that felt more like it came from an accountant's spreadsheet than a basketball mind, Dirk didn't need words. His silence said everything.
And I was like, what? He said, the Lakers got Luka. I was like, haha, Yeah, yep. And literally, and he goes, they're trading AD for Luka. And I was like, you.
During that brief interview, his face carried the weight of 1,000 playoff runs. You could feel the disappointment in every pause, and fans picked up on it instantly. Because if there's one guy who symbolizes loyalty, it's Dirk. He's the definition of sticking it out when things get rough. So seeing him look that heartbroken hit Dallas right in the gut. Then came Kyrie Irving's take. Calm, composed, but layered with emotion. He admitted it felt like losing a brother, saying Luka's exit hurt in ways people wouldn't understand. But in classic Kyrie fashion, he tried to find balance, calling it a new chapter and welcoming Anthony Davis to Dallas with respect and optimism. He even shouted out teammates like Josh Green and Maxi Kleber, talking about unity and resilience. You could tell he was trying to hold the team together while keeping his emotions under control. That quiet strength was obvious. Fans noticed too. The comment section under that clip said it all.
The Dallas fan, it hurts me, but I'm happy for him that he's going to be able to go out there and be in LA and get to try to achieve his dream of winning a championship.
Kyrie's hurt, but he's trying to stay calm, one user wrote, while another said, you can hear the pain in his voice. It wasn't just a reaction, it was a reflection of a team trying to find its soul again. And then there was Giannis Antetokounmpo. who somehow managed to turn the whole Luka trade into a cultural moment. When reporters asked him about Luka heading to Los Angeles, he just smiled and said, "This is how it's supposed to be." Classic Giannis, simple but loaded with meaning. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. For years, international players have quietly carried the unspoken rule that they belong in smaller or non-glamour markets. But Luka's move to LA?
I told Luka straight up, don't let Diddy's world pull you in. One of your teammates already made that mistake.
That shattered the myth completely. It was like Giannis was cheering on a new era, saying, "Yeah, it's time we take the spotlight too." It wasn't shade, it was pride. You could feel the energy of global players rising up, finally taking their seat at the main table. Then came one of the most unexpected voices, Jaylen Brown. His comments, straight from Netflix's Starting Five docuseries, blew up online because he didn't hold back at all. He flat out called the Luka trade one of the worst trades of all time. Hearing that from a guy who survived countless trade rumors himself hit differently. Jaylen's reasoning? Solid. He said it wasn't just about Luka's stats. It was about the identity he brought to Dallas. That one line, "They didn't just lose a player, they lost who they were," started trending for days. Fans replayed it, quoted it, and even edited it into dramatic highlight reels like it was a scene from a sports movie trailer. It captured exactly what everyone was feeling, that this trade wasn't just a move, it was an identity crisis in real time. Then, out of nowhere, Austin Reeves found himself dragged into the storm too. He'd talked before about what he called the white guy stigma in the NBA, how players like him or Luka get boxed into labels until they start dominating. And when he spoke about the trade, it wasn't just basketball talk. It was about representation. Reeves said the league needs to judge players for what they do, not what they look like. A bold and personal take that added a whole new layer to the trade's meaning. Suddenly, this wasn't just about rosters. It was about culture, image, and perception. And because the internet never misses a chance to get weird, guess who jumped in next? Flea. Yes, that Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He popped up on the same podcast with Austin Reeves and said he lost it when he heard the news. His reaction? Pure chaos and disbelief, screaming that Luka in a Lakers jersey just felt unreal. It was random, loud, and totally on brand. And somehow, it made the whole thing even more iconic. Flea said he literally had to sit down when he heard the news. Man almost fell out of his chair. He admitted he couldn't believe the Lakers were actually trading AD for Luka. Once the shock settled, he called it an insane move, raving about Luka's once-in-a-generation talent and how wild the upcoming season was about to get. You could feel his excitement bouncing off the walls, pure chaos and joy. Even Hollywood couldn't stay quiet. Suddenly, this trade wasn't just shaking up the NBA, it was shaking up the entire entertainment scene. John Legend, a diehard Lakers fan, couldn't hide his hype for even a second. When he heard Luka was coming to LA, he went straight to social media, practically daydreaming about Luka and LeBron running the show together. You could almost picture him thinking, this city just leveled up its main event. And it wasn't just basketball heads reacting. Patrick Mahomes chimed in too. The Kansas City superstar, who's followed Luka since his Dallas days, said the trade actually hit him personally. He called Luka one of his favorite athletes and compared the move to watching your favorite movie character get recast mid-series. That's how deep it cut for Dallas fans. Emotional, nostalgic, and surreal all at once. Then there was Anze Kopitar, captain of the LA Kings, and a fellow Slovenian. He was all smiles talking about Luka landing in Los Angeles, calling it a proud moment not just for the city, but for the entire Slovenian community. His words had weight, you could feel that pride. This isn't just big for basketball, he said. It's big for us. That's when it hit people. This trade wasn't just a sports deal, it was culture shifting. It sent ripples through music, football, hockey, and every corner where people care about stars and legacy.
Weird, and described the league as a wild place.
Yeah, I would have never thought Luka Doncic get traded at this age, mid-season. Yes, NBA is a wild place, man. If he can get traded, then anybody's up, for grabs.
Luka's move became a global moment, a pop culture crossover that no one saw coming. But through all that noise and celebration, one single voice suddenly sliced through louder than the rest. And that's when the entire conversation flipped again. A single mistake, one line, one unexpected comment, and boom. The narrative changed overnight. Fans started dissecting every syllable, every tone, every pause. Because in the middle of all that hype, someone said something that might have revealed way more than they meant to. What did MJ really mean by Diddy's world? That one line set the internet on fire. Some people thought it was a jab at the whole celebrity party ecosystem, the private jets, the music moguls, the elite circles where fame moves faster than the game itself. But others swear it went way deeper, like MJ was drawing a line in the sand between the old school grind and this new generation where image sometimes outruns effort. And of course, everyone instantly tied it back to LeBron, because let's be real, MJ and LeBron have never been best buddies. There's always been this icy respect, but no real friendship. So when MJ dropped that one of your teammates line, fans took it as a clear shot at LeBron, especially given all the whispers about LeBron's ties to Diddy. When he said that to Luka, it almost sounded like a warning. Don't become LeBron 2.0. Now here's where things get seriously messy. Not that long ago, LeBron was Luka's biggest supporter, calling him a once-in-a-generation alignment, saying their connection was destiny. So what changed? Was this really about basketball? Or was LeBron trying to bring Luka deeper into that mysterious Diddy network people keep murmuring about behind closed doors? The rumors are wild, and the timing makes it even crazier. That leads us to the real question. What does all this trade drama do to Luka Doncic's place in the NBA hierarchy? Because this isn't just about stats or teams anymore, it's about legacy, leadership, and how the world sees him now. Luka's no longer just a basketball star. He's a global figure, a face of culture itself. Before all the chaos, before the parties and the trade buzz, Luka had already built something special, something most players chase their whole careers. From dropping jaws as a teenager in Europe to storming into the NBA like he owned it, Luka was the generational talent everyone agreed on. By his early 20s, he was stacking triple-doubles like it was nothing, hitting impossible step-back threes that looked like they defied gravity itself. He didn't just play basketball, he reinvented what it meant to be a young superstar. But then boom, the trade storm hit. Suddenly, the narrative flipped overnight. The talk wasn't just about his game anymore, it was about his choices, his loyalty, his legacy. The same words once used to define LeBron, Durant, and Kawhi now surrounded Luka. And the comparisons, they're everywhere. Analysts are asking if he can pull off a LeBron-style move, leaving one franchise, rewriting his destiny, and coming out even more legendary. Or will fans see it as betrayal? Can Luka turn this chaos into triumph, or will the pressure eat him alive? Even Jason Kidd, who's been there for every twist of Luka's career, once said in an interview that the tension between a franchise's structure and a player's vision can define legacies as much as rings. That line feels prophetic now, like he saw this storm coming before anyone else did. And the media? They're going wild. Writers like Zach Harper and Steve Ashburner are all over it, talking about how the optics of Luka landing in Los Angeles aren't just basketball news, they're a global story. Because let's face it, Luka isn't just joining the Lakers. He's stepping straight into the spotlight of Hollywood, power, and fame. And everyone's watching to see if he'll rise even higher or lose himself in Diddy's world. Zach Harper nailed it when he said that if Luka can thrive under the Los Angeles media storm, his brand could skyrocket to levels we've never seen before. But Steve Ashburner added the flip side. That same spotlight can be brutal. In a city obsessed with fame, headlines, and perfection, every pass, every tweet, every single move Luka makes will be magnified 1,000 times. The bright lights can build legends or burn them out. Even Dwyane Wade jumped in, breaking it down perfectly. These trades aren't just basketball decisions anymore. They're business moves wrapped in marketing and brand power. Los Angeles isn't just a team. It's the biggest sports market on the planet. A player like Luka landing there doesn't just change game outcomes, it shifts everything. sponsorships, sneaker deals, global attention, even who's trending online. But let's zoom out for a second. What does Luka Doncic's trade really mean for the NBA's future? Because this wasn't just Dallas swapping with the Lakers, this was a statement. The league just reminded everyone that no player is untouchable, no superstar is completely safe, and loyalty, it's flexible now. Devin Booker said it best. Not everybody's claim is untouchable and untradeable. Then he added, the NBA will show you again. Translation? If the right deal comes up, even the guys you think are lifers in one city can be gone in a heartbeat. That mindset alone is about to change everything, from how teams build around their stars to how those stars think about their own careers. Kevin Durant, always the realist, called the deal weird and said the league is a wild place right now. And honestly, he's not lying. The NBA has always had drama, but this move? This felt different. It felt like the ground itself shifted under everyone's sneakers. And it's not just about super teams anymore. For years, we've talked about stacking talent in Miami, Golden State, and Brooklyn. But this is something new. It's about power plays in plain sight, loyalty, money, and market muscle colliding at full speed. Teams are going to start moving faster, plotting smarter, maybe even sneakier. And players? They're thinking bigger than ever, not just about winning rings, but about where they can maximize both legacy and leverage. So yeah, Luka's trade isn't just another headline. It's a ripple effect that could reshape the entire NBA for years to come. New super teams will rise, new market strategies will form, and stars will find bolder ways to take control of their futures. The NBA of 2026, it might look nothing like the league we know today. One thing's for sure, the drama is far from over. So what do you think? Did the Mavericks just make their biggest mistake ever? Or are the Lakers building the ultimate super team? Drop your hottest takes down below. I want to see who's riding with Team Luka and who thinks Dallas will rise again. And hey, if you're loving this NBA chaos as much as I am, smash that like button, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and turn those notifications on. Because trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. See you on the next one.